So I wanted to talk a little bit about, so the next step in the mallet, right, we're still cutting the angles off, and I have one that I'm doing right along, but I'm also doing one ahead so I can kind of learn the lessons a little bit. And so once the angles are all cut off, right, at the half inch and the 7-degree angle, right, so that they're all angled in like that, then what we will do is we will take the piece of wood, right, and we'll measure it, and we will cut out half, that's not the right one, half of the wood thickness into this piece, and then half into this piece, and then cut both out, and then this will sandwich together with the handle in the middle. Okay, so that's where we're going. Let me raise this up just a little bit here. So what I wanted to do here is cover. So once that's marked, right, and then I've already taken my saw. Right, and so I would have already clamped this down and taken my saw and cut across just like this, right down to almost to the line. I don't want to go past the line. I don't really even want to touch the line, but just barely touch the line, right, with my saw. And then we'll clean this out with a chisel. Like I said, this would be a great spot to already have the mallet, but since we don't have the mallet, we're just going to have to use a piece of wood like this for a hammer. Now I've clamped this piece of 2x4 to my workbench, so I can use it as a place to place my work. If I want to clamp my work, I can take a clamp still and clamp it down like this, and now it doesn't go anywhere, so I can work on it that way. But I'm going to have to chisel this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try it this way. Can I do that? Yep, clamp barely fits, and I can clamp it on sideways like this, I think. Actually, I don't like that. I'm going to go back to this. I can also do this. They use this as a stop. This is the other thing I wanted to show you. If you have a stop like this and you're working, you can use this so it doesn't move. And so now I can come in, and I don't want to take out too much, but because I've cut this across, see, this now comes out easier. This is actually probably the best way to do it at this point. And now you can see, so I took a large chunk of that out. And I don't want to go too far. See my line? Never want to go past the line because then it's not going to fit tight. So I have to be super careful with that. So now I'm going to turn it the other way and go back this way. Go too deep, past the line. So some people will literally turn it up on the edge like this and take the chisel with the flat edge. See, this is the waste wood, right? Where this is the waste wood. We're cutting this out. This we're not. So you take your chisel, right? It's got a flat side, and then it's got a curved side, right? You see the edge right there? So we want the flat side down toward the good stuff. And make a line, right? Put it right at the top of the line where we want to be. You don't want to cut your line off. You actually want to leave the line. Put it right there and do that. Make a kind of a big cut there. And see, make sure you go right above your line when you do this, right? And see, I left my line there. But I made a big line right there, and so that will come off easy now, and that line I made with the chisel will help it not go below my line. Same thing on the other side. Yeah, see? Left the whole line there on that one. Now, I can just keep. So in here, I want the bevel down, right on this. Remember this chisel, how it has a flat side here and then this bevel side? I want the bevel side down, because then I can kind of go in a little bit of an angle and then kind of pry up and pry it out. Or I can put my chisel down flatter and just go across. When I get down toward the end, then we'll change up, chisel over and do the rest of it. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll be back in a minute. So this is something else you can do with the board, right? See, I moved the board down and reclamped it to make a space here. So now I can come from here and get to it from this side. I did that because I want to work from this side of the table, but also so the camera can still see. So now, I've taken most of that out. So now I'm going to turn the flat side of my chisel down and just kind of go in like this, really flat strokes. And now I'm smoothing it out. Get on the side there a little bit if I need to, but now I need to smooth it out and make it ready for my wood to be glued in. Okay, see, I've pretty much got it there. I'm a little low right here. I went just a little too far down. You can see right there how my saw line went down just into my line, a little too far, right, on this end. Everywhere else it was fine. But anyway, so this one on my saw went down, so it was really hard to try and get it smooth after that. But anyway, so I've just been working with this down, with my chisel down flat side down, and just going over it, and I've got it as smooth as I can get it. So now I test my piece. Fits a little looser than I want. We actually want it really tight. That's why you have to cut on the inside of the lines, because you don't want it to be able to move. This one moves a little, so I'll have to try and figure out how to tighten that up. But you want it really tight. In fact, if you go to put it in and it's too tight, and we have to take some sandpaper to the inside just to smooth it down a little more to open it up, then that's actually good. So now, I'm speaking of sandpaper. I don't know if you got the stir stick that I talked to you about with the sandpaper on it for sanding, like I did the end of the 2x4, but that's what I'm going to use in here as well. Okay, so now remember the sandpaper where I wrapped it around the stick like this, so it's all wrapped around, so it's nice and flat. So now I can take that and go in here. This is another reason why you can leave it a little bit. You know, you don't have to take it all the way finished before you do this, because you take a little bit more off with the sandpaper. So this will just help smooth it. I'm not going to do much on the side because they're already a little tighter than I want them. So that way I can get in the corner here a little bit. And see, now it smoothed it even more. Okay, so this side is finished. Now I'll work on my other side while you work on your side. Another thing that can be beneficial sometimes, because sometimes when you've got more to get off, going crossways the grain, because the grain in the wood is running this way, right? Sometimes going across it is a little difficult. So what you end up doing is putting your mallet somewhere where it can be held against the end, and taking your chisel with the bevel side down again and kind of coming in this way, so you're going with the grain, and then a little tap down to cut, and then go the other way. Whoop, let's see if I can turn it. And then go the other way, taking it a little bit at a time. This way you're going with the grain on the sides, and then again, you can even use your hand. And then you take your chisel with the flat side down and come through the middle and kind of clean it all up. But sometimes you got to find which way the wood wants to be cut, and then also which ways you have available to be able to cut it based on your work area and your space, right? Because we're cutting down in here, we can't really go with the grain the way it would like to be all the way. Now this one you notice, see, like when I have to really kind of push it down in there, and it really, see, it holds on, it's tight. That's the way we really want it. We want it to be super tight in there, really. This one's not as tight. Remember, this one's kind of loose, so I got to figure out some way to kind of tighten that up a little bit. But anyway, so you can see that's the way it's supposed to be. And then, if I put these two together, now they should meet in the middle, and we glue this whole thing together, and we have a mallet. And then we will be shaping it, and you can put decorations on it, and put a ball on the end, and cut hand, whatever you want, you can draw on it, you know, once we finish shaping it. We got some more shaping work to do. But anyway, that is what we're headed for. Love you, hun.